could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Village of Washingtonville regular meeting today, Tuesday, August 21st, 2018. A few announcements before we get started. Due to the Labor Day holiday, our next scheduled meeting, which will be a work session, will be held on Monday, September 10th. The following week, I don't have a date here, will be the 18th will be the regular meeting. This office will be closing at 12 p.m. on Friday, August 31st, and reopening on Tuesday, September 4th, in observance of the Labor Day holiday. Our street sweeper arrived on Tuesday. Bond anticipation note has been sold and we've been funded, a total of $250,000. Once I sit down with the other municipalities, Blooming Grove, South Blooming Grove, we will be signing an intermunicipal agreement. At that point, we could send all that paperwork up to Albany so they may start the grant process. We were promised by Senator Larkin that we will receive $250,000 for the sweeper. The village has hired 4 part-time police officers. These 4 officers will be working in the school setting along with a full-time school resource officer. The school district will be charged for the police in all buildings, so they will be paying the whole bill. This, however, will not be in place for opening day. So this morning, Chief Zuccaro and I met with Superintendent Reese and Executive Director of Buildings and Grounds, Paul Neenstadt from the school district, about providing police officers in the 3 buildings until the part-time officers are out of the academy. 3 of the 4 officers had to go into the police academy for refresher courses. We are in the process right now of compiling all the numbers so we may present it to the school district for opening day and beyond. We're looking middle of September. Okay, to have everything in place. At the last meeting, we scheduled a zoning comprehensive meeting temporarily for August 29th. We have to advertise it to have a regular public hearing.
So it's just a special meeting, right?
Well, it's going to be, I'm looking at September 18th at the regular meeting. I think that would give us enough time to have the law written, so we may present it at that time. To change the zoning.
I understand. It depends on the extent of the changes, whether it would be appropriate to have the public hearing at that time.
Okay. No, it was just a public meeting. It's just a public meeting. So we have to have a public hearing. Okay, so we'll.
I think, when is the meeting? The special meeting to go over the proposed
Looking to have it at
changes?
the regular meeting, September 18th.
Well, you're on the 29th.
Well, we're going to have it on the 29th. Okay, but do we have enough
I
time
thought
to
that was,
advertise that in the paper?
Well, you can have a special meeting on the 29th
Okay.
for the purpose of, conducting any regular town business. And that's not public, it can be a public meeting, but it's not a public hearing because we don't have the law yet.
Okay.
We have to figure out what changes the board wishes to make to the law, so I can then draft them up. Then we can schedule a public hearing.
Okay, so we'll keep it on August 29th then.
yeah, I thought it was.
Okay, yeah, okay, so we'll keep it on the 29th of August.
Okay, so the
We'll
board
have it to
already,
you like ASAP.
what's that?
We'll have it to you SAAP, so we can have it back.
SAP?
Yes, it's PP.
SAP?
No, they can't, no, we're not adopting any zoning changes.
No, not on the
So-
29th.
No.
So the board is voted to conduct a special meeting on the 29th, at what time?
7.
Have you noticed that yet, or you need to? Okay, I'll provide the clerk with a notice tomorrow, so it can be posted and published for the special meeting, and then we'll go from there.
You got it. Okay, see, that was quick. A bond payment in the amount of $119,743.75 was made this week for our wells. We have 3 more payments, principal and interest payments due over the next 3 years. These are the wells that, I don't believe we still haven't got water out of them yet, but coming right along.
Okay, you gotta continue public hearings at 7:01.
Okay. So, any questions? So we want to continue the public hearing on Frontier Communications franchise agreement at this point? Do I have a motion? To continue.
You can just reopen the public hearing.
We reopen the public.
Need a motion to close it if there's no comments.
Any questions from this board? So make a motion to close.
Or just check, make sure nobody from the public.
Yeah. Any questions from the public?
I just have one about the wells.
Yes.
Are they the 3 wells that were put in by Rieger that was supposed to supply water to his development?
Wait, so this is,
This is for the Frontier.
Public
Oh,
hearing.
okay, I apologize.
Hold that thought.
Hold that question.
I'll write it down.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to close public hearing if there's no questions from the public.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, roll call, trustee Goulart.
To
To close the meeting, yes.
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Mack,
Yes.
trustee Lodato. Okay. So, resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Washingtonville granting a franchise to Frontier Communications of New York, Inc. to provide cable services and authorizing the village mayor to execute franchise agreement. Whereas Frontier Communications of New York, Inc., also known as Frontier, has submitted an application to the Village of Washingtonville for a cable franchise to serve portions of the village, and whereas the public hearing was held with respect to said application by the Village Board of Trustees on July 25th, 2018. Whereas the village has the requisite authority to grant such franchise, and whereas the Board of Trustees, after full consideration of application and results of the aforementioned public hearing, finds that Frontier has the appropriate character, financial condition, and technical ability to operate as a franchise within the municipality, and that the grant to Frontier of the subject franchise is in the best interest of the municipal community. And therefore, it is hereby resolved that Frontier is granted a franchise to provide cable services within the village as more particularly set forth in the annex franchise agreement, and that the mayor or his designee is hereby authorized on behalf of the village to execute the franchise agreement, subject to approval of the form and content thereof by the village attorney, by the order of the Board of Trustees, the Village of Washingtonville.
if we could just make one change.
Sure.
In the second whereas, it says a public hearing was held with respect to the application by the Village Board of Trustees on July 25th, 18, and continued on August 21st, 2018, because it was still open till this evening.
Okay.
So, that's it,
So noted, continued on August.
21st.
motion.
Trustee Lang makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call. Trustee Kalua,
Yes.
trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Mack,
Yes.
trustee Lodato. Okay, passes 5-0. Congratulations.
I'll communicate with Frontier's attorney, and there's a few things, just minor things to clean up in the agreement, and then we'll be able to get that ready for your signature, and then they'll go forward with their approval with public service.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, continuation of solar site plan application.
Not really, 7:30. I think we're resting.
Okay, we scheduled that for 7:30. Thank you. So we may take your
Somebody else might wait to come in.
question.
The three, Sean Hagerty, the three wells, was that on the Rieger property and he, to supply the water for his development?
One was on the Memorial Park.
Okay.
One is on, next to the softball building, Woodfield. And I believe the third one,
Wasn't it the one on Patricia, of course?
of course, from Patricia Lane.
Was it
So they weren't for his development, they were
No.
for the whole, okay.
Yeah. But we still haven't gotten any water out of anybody's
Is
wells.
it three?
We're getting cash out of those, so.
I thought it was five. Yeah.
Well, 5, it might be the two that he's talking about down there.
On Reeders.
On Reeders,
Yeah, because it's two then.
yeah. So that's a total of 5. Still no water.
Even after this year,
What's that?
even after all the rain?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that they're dry, I think the water is no good in it.
The one by Memorial Park is heavily salted.
So you can ask them.
Oh, well.
Okay. We could go to new business and then return to the solar site plan application at 7:30. New business, public assembly permit, second annual color run. Scheduled for September 29th, 2018, 8 a.m.
Registration.
Registration, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Race.
Race time. Unless I'm running. Then it could be a calendar day. Maximum number of people expected, 200. Last year, I think we had pretty close to 200, if not maybe more. It was very successful last year. So I see this being even larger. It's a 5K run. Bottled water donated by sponsors of the event day. Parking lot will be at Vern Allen Park. Volunteers will clean up with the assistance from our Department of Public Works. Questions?
Did the chief review
The map has changed.
are you good with it?
It's actually less police involvement, this year than last. For the,
As long as he's good with it.
yep. Okay. Any questions?
No.
They have the homecoming game that day as well. That's not going to conflict with.
No, homecoming, I believe, starts at, the morning activities usually start at 11. If they're doing what they did in the past, I believe the game starts at 2. So it's a busy day here in Washington. Okay, someone would like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, trustee Cool, yes.
Yes.
Trustee Lang,
Yes.
trustee Mack,
Yes.
trustee Lodato. Go 5-0. You'll notify.
Yes.
Well, while we're waiting for that 7:31, you said? You want to go public comment? You want to go executive session?
Couple of comments.
Public comment on anything that you've heard, anything that concerns? Sure.
Sean Hagley, just maybe an update on the fountains and the ponds, the dog park, the road improvements, skateboard park, sidewalks, curbs. Is there anything scheduled or?
We received, I could go with the sidewalks and curbs. We received a bid from one contractor who is presently doing work for the city of Newburgh, state DOT approved. So I'm waiting for two other bids to come.
Okay.
Okay. Dog park, you just mentioned that today. We have to get, actually, we have to get started on everything that you said. So,
What about the sewer line that was in bad shape? Nothing ever got done with that?
It was cambered and it's clean.
Oh, that's better than doing anything else.
Yeah, they're in the process right now of cleaning the stormwater lines up on Decker.
Was it camera or jetted?
It was cambered in the park.
The one we bought?
Yeah.
Thought they jetted.
They
Yeah,
did.
they did.
We just said camera.